You know that moment when someone asks you a simple question in English and your mind just goes blank? Not because you don't know the answer, but because you can't find the words. Today, I'm going to show you why that happens and, more importantly, how to fix it. This episode is for A2 to B1 learners who are tired of translating in their head. By the end of this podcast, you'll understand the exact system fluent speakers use to talk about almost anything without memorizing thousands of words. Let's begin. Most English learners believe fluency means knowing more words, so they memorize lists. They download apps. They learn 10 new words every day. But then they try to speak, and nothing comes out. Here's why. Fluency is not about how many words you know. It's about how fast you can access them. Think of your brain like a library. If you have 5,000 books, but they're all scattered on the floor, you can't find anything. But if you have 500 books organized on the shelves with clear labels, you can grab exactly what you need in seconds. That's the difference. Fluent speakers don't know more words than you. They just have a better system for using them. And I'm going to teach you that system today. But first, let me show you what happens when you don't have a system. Imagine this. Someone asks you, "What do you think about remote work?" You know the answer in your language, but in English, your brain does this. Step 1, think in your native language. Step 2, translate each word. Step 3, try to remember grammar rules. Step 4, speak. But it sounds slow and unnatural. This is called the translation trap. And it's the number one reason people feel stuck at intermediate level. Here's the truth. Fluent speakers don't translate. They think directly in English. But how do they do that? They use something I call core idea clusters. Let me explain. Instead of memorizing random words like remote, commute, productivity, isolation, fluent speakers organize ideas into flexible patterns. For example, when talking about work, they automatically think in clusters, like location, where you work, time, when you work, people, who you work with, feeling, how it makes you feel. These 4 clusters can answer almost any question about work. And the same idea works for any topic. I'll prove it to you in a moment. But first, you need to understand the biggest mistake learners make when trying to speak. Here's a question I get all the time. Sona, how many words do I need to know to be fluent? And here's my answer. It doesn't matter. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Research shows that native speakers use about 3,000 words in everyday conversations. Most B1 learners already know 2,000 or 2,500 words. So why can't they speak fluently? Because they're collecting individual words instead of learning word relationships. Let me give you an example. Imagine you know the word happy. That's good. But do you know these related ideas? I'm in a good mood. I feel positive about it. It made my day. I'm pleased with the result. These are all ways to express happy, but in different situations. Fluent speakers don't think, which word means happy? They think, how do I want to say this feeling right now? And that's the key. You don't need more words. You need flexible thinking. And that starts with understanding how topics actually work. Okay, now I'm going to give you the actual system. This is called the topic map, and it works for almost any subject. Here's how it works. Every topic has 5 core angles. Description. What is it? Opinion. How do you feel about it? Experience. What's your personal story? Comparison. How is it different from something else? Future or change? What might happen next? That's it. 5 angles. If you can talk about these 5 things, you can speak about anything. Let me show you. Let's take the topic, learning English. Description. What is it? Learning English is the process of improving your skills in speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Opinion. How do you feel about it? You can say, I think it's challenging, but it's also really rewarding. Experience. What's your personal story? You can say, I've been learning English for 3 years and I still make mistakes, but I can see my progress. For comparison, you can say, it's different from learning my native language because I have to practice actively every day. For future and change, you can say, I hope to reach fluency within the next year so I can travel and work internationally. Did you notice something? I just spoke for 30 seconds about English learning, and I didn't use any advanced vocabulary. I just followed the 5 angles. Now, here's where it gets powerful. You can use this system for any topic. Let me give you 3 more examples fast. Topic is coffee. Description. It's a hot drink made from coffee beans. Opinion. I love the taste, but I try not to drink too much. Experience. I started drinking it in university to stay awake. Comparison. It's stronger than tea and gives me more energy. Future. I might switch to decaf because I want to sleep better. The next topic is social media. Description. It's a platform where people share photos, ideas, and messages. Opinion. I think it's useful, but also a bit addictive. Experience. I use it every day, mostly to stay in touch with friends. Comparison. It's faster than email, but less personal. Future. I'm thinking about reducing my screen time. The next topic is exercise. Description. It's physical activity that keeps your body healthy. Opinion. I believe it's essential, but I struggle to stay consistent. Experience. I used to go to the gym, but now I prefer walking. Comparison. It's harder to find motivation than it was when I was younger. Future. I want to build a simple routine I can stick to. See, You don't need to know specialized words. You just need to know how to think about a topic. And that's what fluency really is. Now, let's talk about the glue. Because knowing the 5 angles is one thing, but connecting them smoothly, that's what makes you sound fluent. This is where most learners get stuck. They know what to say, but they don't know how to link their ideas. So their speech sounds choppy, like this. I like coffee. Coffee is good. I drink coffee every day. Technically correct, but it sounds robotic. Here's the same idea, but connected. I really like coffee, especially in the morning. Actually, I drink it every day because it helps me wake up. What changed? I used connector words, and these connectors are everything. Let me give you the most powerful ones and the ones native speakers use constantly. To add information, you can use also, on top of that, plus. To show contrast, you can say but, however, on the other hand. To give examples, you can use for instance, like, such as. To explain cause, you can use because, since, that's why. To show result, you can say so, as a result. That's how. To express opinion, you can say I think, in my opinion, I believe. To add personal experience, you can use actually, to be honest, from my experience. These are not fancy, they are simple, but they make your English sound natural because this is how native speakers actually talk. Now, here's the key. Don't try to memorize all of these at once. Instead, pick 3 connectors and use them this week. Really use them in every conversation, every sentence you practice. Let them become automatic. Then next week, add 3 more. This is how you build fluency. Slowly, consistently, and naturally. Okay, let's go deeper. Because now you know how to structure ideas. But there's one more thing that separates good speakers from great speakers. Stories. When you tell a story, even a small one, people listen. And more importantly, you become more confident. Because stories are easy to remember. You're not searching for words. You're just remembering what happened. Here's the thing. You don't need dramatic stories. You just need simple, personal moments. Let me show you. Imagine someone asks, "Do you like cooking?" Weak answer is this. Yes, I like cooking. Stronger answer is this. Yeah, I do. Actually, last weekend, I tried to make pasta for the first time. It didn't turn out great, but it was fun. I think I'll try again this week. See the difference? The second answer gives a specific example. It shows personality. It feels real. And it's easy to say because it's true. You don't need to invent anything. You just need to share small, real experiences. Here's a formula you can use. Actually, then use time and action. It was, then use feeling. I think, then add your future or reflection. I will give you example sentences below. Actually, yesterday I watched a movie in English without subtitles. It was difficult, but I understood most of it. I think I'll do it more often. Next example. Actually, last month I started reading before bed. It was relaxing. I think it helps me sleep better. Next example. Actually, this morning I had a conversation with my colleague in English. It was a bit stressful, but I'm proud I tried. These are not fancy, but they work because they're real. And real is always better than perfect. Now, let's talk about the thing everyone fears. The blank mind moment. You're speaking, everything is going well. Then someone asks you something and your brain just stops. Total silence. Panic. This happens to everyone, even advanced speakers, even native speakers. So the question is not how to avoid it. The question is, what do you do when it happens? Here's the secret. You buy time. Native speakers do this all the time. You just don't notice it. They use filler phrases. Not and those sound uncertain. But strategic fillers that sound natural. Here are the best ones. To think, you can say, let me think. That's a good question. I'm not sure, but to clarify, you can say, do you mean? Just to make sure I understand, are you speaking about? To redirect, you can say, I haven't thought about that before, but I don't know much about that topic, but I can say, that's not really my area, but from what I know. To simplify, you can say, let me put it another way. What I mean is, in simple terms, these phrases do two things. They give your brain time to think, and they make you sound confident, not lost. And here's the bonus. Sometimes, while you're saying these phrases, the answer comes to you. Your brain catches up, and you keep going. This is exactly what fluent speakers do. They don't have all the answers ready. They just know how to keep talking while they figure it out. And now, so do you. Here's something most learners don't realize. If you want to speak better, you need to listen better. I know that sounds obvious, but I'm not talking about passive listening. I'm talking about active noticing. Let me explain. When you listen to English, podcasts, videos, conversations, your brain is learning patterns, not just words. Patterns. How people start sentences, how they transition between ideas, how they express emotion, how they sound natural. But here's the problem. Most people listen for meaning. They're just trying to understand. That's good, but it's not enough. To improve your speaking, you need to listen for structure. Here's what I mean. Next time you listen to English, ask yourself, how did they introduce that idea? What phrase did they use to disagree? How did they tell that story? And then copy it. Not word for word, but the structure. For example, let's say you hear someone say, to be honest, I wasn't sure at first, but now I think it's a good idea. You can steal that structure. To be honest, I wasn't sure at first, but now I think. Then add your opinion and use it in your own speaking. This is how children learn their native language. They listen, they notice, they copy, And over time, it becomes natural. You can do the same thing, but you have to be intentional about it. Don't just listen, notice. Let's talk about confidence, because here's something strange. Most learners think, I'll speak when I'm confident. But actually, it works the opposite way. You become confident by speaking, even when you're not ready, even when you make mistakes, even when it feels uncomfortable. This is the confidence paradox. You can't wait until you feel ready, because that feeling never comes. You have to start before you're ready. And here's the good news. You don't have to start big. You can start small, really small. Here's what I recommend. Week 1. Talk to yourself for 2 minutes every day, out loud in English. Pick a random topic. Use the 5 angles. No one is listening, no pressure. Week 2. Record yourself. Listen back. Notice one thing you did well. Not what you did wrong, what you did well. Week 3. Speak with someone online, a language partner, a tutor, anyone. Just 10 minutes. Week 4. Do it again, but this time notice how it feels easier. That's it. 4 weeks, and you'll see the difference. Because confidence is not a feeling, it's a habit. You build it by doing the thing you're afraid of, over and over, until it's not scary anymore. And I promise you, it gets easier. So let's talk about what fluency actually means. Because I think most people have the wrong idea. They think fluency means speaking perfectly, never making mistakes, sounding like a native speaker. But that's not fluency, that's perfection, and perfection doesn't exist. Here's the real definition. Fluency is the ability to express your ideas clearly, comfortably, and without long pauses, even if you make small mistakes. That's it. It's not about being perfect. It's about being understood. It's about being comfortable. It's about being you in English. And here's the truth. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They forget words. They repeat themselves. They change their mind mid-sentence. But they keep going. And that's what you need to do too. Stop aiming for perfect. Start aiming for real. Because real communication is messy. It's full of pauses, corrections, and wait, what I meant was. And that's okay. That's human. So give yourself permission. Permission to make mistakes. Permission to sound unsure sometimes. Permission to learn as you go. Because that's what fluency actually is. It's not the end of learning. It's the beginning of using what you know. All right, so we've covered a lot today. Let me bring it all together. If you want to speak fluently about almost anything, here's your action plan. Step 1, stop translating. Start thinking in English, even if it's simple English. Step 2, use the topic map. For any subject, think in 5 angles: description, opinion, experience, comparison, and future. Step 3, learn connector words. Pick 3, use them every day until they're automatic. Step 4, tell small stories. Share real, personal moments. They are easier to remember and more interesting to listen to. Step 5. Buy time when you're stuck. Use filler phrases. They make you sound confident while your brain catches up. Step 6. Listen actively. Notice how people say things, not just what they say. Then copy the structure. Step 7. Start speaking before you're ready. Confidence comes from action, not preparation. That's it. 7 steps. You don't need to do them all at once. Just pick one, start this week, and build from here. Because fluency is not a destination, it's a journey. And every conversation, every mistake, every small win is part of that journey. So here's my question for you. What's one topic you want to practice speaking about this week? Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your hobbies, maybe it's something you're listening. Whatever it is, I want you to try this. Take that topic and use the 5 angles I taught you today. Then write a comment below and share 1 or 2 sentences about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Because when you write it down, you're practicing. And when you share it, you're committing. Plus, I read every comment and I'd love to see what you come up with. Also, if this episode helped you, feel free to share it with someone who's learning English. Not because I need the numbers, but because learning is better when you do it together. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for spending this time with me. And remember, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough and how to use it. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and I'll see you in the next episode. This is Sona's English podcast. Take care.